Hey guys, welcome to day 21. Really wrapping it up here. Still got a few days to go before the paint is done on the new parts. So today I'm going to wrap up this front end. We're going to get the new bars installed, all the controls installed, our levers switched out, already lubricated the clutch cable, and we got to get the new grips on. I know there's a little prep I have to do on the Avon grips to put the right cam on. So let's get started. Oh, and I figured out, you know how I said in a previous video that the instructions that came with all the parts and everything. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. Whew. How I said that the parts and everything came with a DVD and some of the instructions were only on the DVD and they weren't on their YouTube videos. Well, that's not quite the case. I found them. I eventually found them. What they have are playlists set up for all the instruction videos. So they have a Suzuki C50 playlist of all the instructions for the parts they offer it, but whoever put the playlist together didn't put all the videos in there. So what I ended up doing was scrolling through their big long list of videos, and I found the missing ones that I was having to go back inside and stick in the DVD player for on YouTube. So blue collar bobbers again, little bit for improvement there. Go through your videos, have somebody that's familiar with it go through everything and fix all your playlists, because you can be sure that if I found one playlist that's wrong, there's some other ones too. So that might help save somebody some frustration of, you know, I'm missing the instructions for this, it's not in your playlist, or I'm having to go back in the house and watch a DVD to get the instructions. Now we can just come out here, I got my tablet, pop it up. I'm going to make my own playlist. That's the nice thing about playlists. You're not dependent on somebody else. So I just went and I tagged all the videos correctly in my own playlist. So now they're good to go. Let's get started. Okay, I've got my caps ready to torque on. I've got my bars and I found the center line. Got a little piece of tape here. This is the throttle side. I may have to sand down the edge of this. I'm going to wait until the stuff slides on to see, but they do say it might be necessary just because of the powder coating building up, they say. Now, mental note, I should have found the center line and made sure that I was putting it directly on when I fitted this before, so I could tighten down these bolts a bit, because it did mar the finish just a little bit. However, I did eyeball it close enough where I don't think anything is going to be seen. I mean, it was real close, but this is actually measured, so I know it's in the right spot, and now we have to eyeball it between the two stands here. And I need to loosen this one just a little bit to tweak it. So let's go ahead and get these installed. Oh, and as you can see, you do see these extra bolt shafts coming through. Let me make sure you can see it. So another area for improvement there, blue collar bobbers, you need to use shorter bolts so that they look stock. That's a good 3/4 of an inch too long, and there's no reason to just have those hanging there looking ugly. I'm half tempted to take it all off and cut those bolts off, but I know the Dremel won't go through that, and I don't have a die grinder, but that's what you would need. So I would definitely like to see those shorter. It just doesn't have a finished appearance, in my opinion. First, I want to make sure that they're centered laterally, and then I'm going to make sure I'm tightening these down so that the gaps are even. These supports here don't fully enclose the bar. It's close, but not fully. I don't think it did on stock either. It's not a bar difference. Alright, that looks nice and even there. Run this down just till it's snug. I can feel it right there. This one, I'm holding it so the gap is even. And then I'll just torque them down side to side. Okay. And then once I get these on, I'm just gonna do these enough so they don't move right now. It's actually good right where it is. I just don't want these flopping around because I still need to adjust these and angle these. and make it just a little bit tighter because when I put the controls on, there'll be a little more weight. But these will need to be finally positioned after the tank is on and after I'm sitting on the bike. You know, there's going to be a fine tuning. But now I can go ahead and actually torque down the two big nuts underneath. What am I hitting? There we go. It's hitting a control wire. And these go obviously real tight. There we go. One side done, I'll grab the other. Okay, just a tip for you guys, if you are also buying these Avon grips, which are absolutely lovely, I have to say. They feel great. I love the texture on it. They feel very OEM, actually a lot like most Yamahas. They are fatter, and they are slightly bulged in the center, so very cruiser-like. Nice circumference, very comfortable. Great appearance, all right, not expensive, 60 bucks for the set. Now, they give you a couple different cams, and that's to accommodate different brand bikes that have different throttle connections. So this is one I'm going to be putting on, and that has to be super glued onto the end here once you choose the one for your bike. Now, I went ahead and bought some super glue, and I didn't need to. They give you some, it's stuffed inside the grip. So just a note there, I had no idea that would come with it, so you don't have to buy the super glue. Their instructions suggested a locating tape here. This is going to be for the start of our controls. I've got the glue drying on the cam for my throttle lever. It's going to take another 20 minutes. I'll start with this side here. They want the clutch lever on first. Now, I'm not really feeling a buildup of paint at the end here, so I'm going to try installing everything as is. No point marring it up if I don't have to. Very snug fit. That's not to do with the paint at the end here. Oh, you guys can't see, sorry. There we go. Very snug fit. You know, they did suggest putting a little bit of oil on here, so let me grab some WD-40. Or actually, yeah, that'll be better. That'll go away. Let's see if that helps any. Now, I do have new levers. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. So there's the trick. Don't forget the oil. My bad. I'm going to mount everything loose because, like I said, the tank has to be on to get my bars adjusted. Then I can snug down my controls and get everything. And I do have new control levers. I'm just waiting until everything's snug down so I can, you know, get a good grip on the bolts rather than trying to hold the parts. That'll be the last step in the bar construction, is swapping these levers out. So I've got one screw that goes down on the bottom. I need to see which screws go where. Let me swing around here. Let's see. I've got this goes on next, and it uses two small ones. I've got 4 small ones and 2 big ones. I have a feeling this is a big one, and the other big one is probably over here. And the brake lever clamp. Yep. The other one goes here, and then the other 2 small ones are here for the start, stop, and hazard. We'll do those in a little bit after this dries up. Or I should say the cam for that dries up. Alright, so we've got these little tiny Phillips screws. Oh, I love Phillips screws. Way to go, Suzuki. Interestingly enough, the flash to pass does not function with this HID headlight. I'm not sure if it's because of the way the circuit's fed in. I don't even remember if I tested it. It may be a bad switch, but I don't know if I tested that working when I bought the bike. But I don't use it. I just never think it's there. I always hit the bright switch, you know. I don't ever flash somebody to pass them. The only time I even flash my brights is to tell somebody, hey dumbass, you have your brights on, you know. Other than that, I'm using the brights. Like I'm going through this long stretch of dark road at night and I want to make sure I don't hit a bear or a deer. That's it. I mean, so, you know, I don't care enough to, I suppose I could ohm out the switch, but I really don't care, so maybe later. That's the point. Which side does this go on? It must go on this side, yeah. It's because I'm looking at it backwards. Everything looks kind of weird. I'm pretty sure that cable goes above the clutch lever. Get in there, Pac-Man. I'm making room inside the headlight housing because I pulled about 8 inches of this control out. Let's see, this cable, I have to remember how it's routed. It's a little cable that goes to the clutch lever, or the brake lever, to actuate the lights. It must come out this little side slot here. Trying to see if there's a pinch point. Yeah, there is, where it's kind of built into the, or where it was in the previous install. You can see where the plastic's been squished a bit. And does not want to go back in there. Alright, let me pull this off real quick. See how this is wanting to lay down. Problem is it's not. Okay, so that clamps down like that. This guy must come through here. How's it wrapping around this guy though? Maybe it did a 360. Nope. It definitely goes this way. Wow, it's hot out tonight. There it goes. Just a really snug fit. And there's a little zip tie in there. Get in there. It's just one of these things where, man, once you pop it apart, it doesn't want to go back in. It's like a genie in a bottle. That zip tie's broken anyway. It's holding me up. Alright, so there we go. Now, we'll stick this through and get him in place without falling out again. There we go. Come on, one more. I'm looking for the, right there, locator hole for it to go in. Okay. Screw number 1 just to hold you in place. And I need another hand. Stupid kids. Let's get this one snug here to hold. There we go. Okay. Wait, I do have that backwards. That control does go on the other side. See, I told you things look backwards. Y'all are probably yelling at me for the past 5 minutes. Dude, what are you doing? It's because I'm looking at it backwards. Okay, one more time. You come off. You slide down. You go here. Nope. That can't be right. Because I just had that on backwards too. Alright, I had it right the first time. What I was doing is installing that switch upside down. This does go to there. This goes to here. So what I did is I read the controls and then put it to me. There we go. Now the wires are facing the right way because this has to go towards the lever. One of those days. So let's get him in the slot. I need to find a locating hole somewhere. Let's see. I can see it. Where are they? There it is. Right there. Okay, make sure this is in the slot. It is. Where'd it go? Again. Where'd the screwdriver go? Other hand. We'll get there eventually. Another screw to run in. Backside. And snug it down. Oh man, I'm dying. I need an outdoor shower. I mean, look at this. Just sitting out here. It is completely stagnant tonight. Zero breeze. This is as bad as it gets. Feels like it's in Orlando. Put this one in. Yeah, after this bar, I'm done for the night. I was gonna do a little bit on the back, but I will wait. Okay. That's that. Plug this guy back in. And now, I need a little Allen wrench for the big screw. We'll just snug up our clutch lever. Stay. All right. Now we should have enough dry time where I can do the other side. You know, after doing this, I have to say I have no idea why they want you to measure and find this tape mark. It's completely irrelevant. All you need to do is slide this somewhat past the locating hole because this can only go in one position. So all you have to do is clear it, install this, slide this down until it's against it. I mean, there's absolutely no point in figuring out where to put this first. Oh, I forgot the new grip. We can go and put this on. This is really easy. A little bit of WD-40 on there. I want to see how easy it slides on. Very easy it should be. And it just has 3 locating screws, little Allens. So there's none of the usual pain in the butt sliding and greasing and gluing and all that kind of garbage with a lot of other aftermarket grips. Oh, do not tell me I am missing the one wrench I need. No, there it is. Phew! I was gonna say. So this, you just slide up loosen these 3 screws, tighten it back down. And again, there's no positioning because you just put it all the way up. Position the screws how it looks appealing to you. Bada bing, bada boom. Tighten them back down. And that grip is done. The other one goes on exactly the same way. I love these kinds of grips. These are awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and do the throttle side. And we will wrap up the bars for now until the final tightening when the tank gets here. Swinging over to this side here, we have a whole bunch more controls. So I got the new grip installed into the throttle cables. They're still as loose as they can be, so there's enough clearance and slack to put them in the slots and get them in there. That'll all be tightened down once it's assembled. So this has a locating pin and there's a hole into the bars right here. So this is our, we've also got a bunch of holes on the bottom. I don't think those are what I put anything to. This one goes here and it bolts that way. So this must be it here. I'm not sure what these other ones are for. Maybe a different bike. If they have these bars for other, oop, I gotta slide this over here. I shouldn't have any interference between this. Yeah, nice and easy. That has to rotate, obviously. Now we put our pin in, and got our other side of control here. I'm gonna let that sit. Let's see, this is gonna be this big electrical one. Same configuration as the other side. Cable through the slot. Now I need to see how this is going to be oriented. Obviously this goes right next to it. This one pops over like that. Okay, so I've got to bring these up underneath. Oh, hey now, don't move. And I'm going to readjust that banjo fitting because the bar angle is completely changed. Is that right? Hold on. Let me snap this back in place. Stay. So that's got to come like that. This comes underneath the bar. This is around the back of it. Okay, so it's a combo. This one. How did I take that off? I must have disconnected that electrical connector. No, I must have just went under. This is what I'm wondering about. How is this cable hitting the lever? Alright, hold on. I gotta swing around. It really is very disorienting working backwards. Okay, I just have this above when it should be below. Trying to move it very gentle without marring up the bars. They do look sweet. Okay, so that's going to go somewhere around there. I need to clamp one of these in place. Let's do this guy right here. Put him through there. He's got to go through the other slot. Like that. Get him back in the locating pin hole. Where to go? There's the hole. Come on. aren't you going in? There it is. Okay, you just hang out. Screwdriver. Hey now, bars. Now's not the time to be moving on me. Yeah. Another set of hands here for this step where everything is freaking loose would definitely be helpful. Alright, let me run one of these in. Just so I can let go of one part. I knew these bars would start sinking from the extra weight. I'm going to tighten them up just a little bit on top here. Okay. Put in the other screw. There we go. Whew. Grip moves freely, still needs to be adjusted completely. That'll be the last step here. Now this guy, I just need to mount. He's got these two Allen bolts and the mirror mount. Now he wants to wiggle around because this banjo fitting is putting some pressure on the connection. We're going to fix that. I want to see if there's a locating bolt. I don't think there should be because it's a control grip. No, so it can go anywhere. Alright, we'll set that. And I can actually get on the bike. We're going to leave this slightly loose again, just like the clutch. Okay, that's looking good, and I do have another new lever to install over here as well. Okay, now this banjo bolt, looks like a 12. We're just going to barely loosen it. We don't want to actually breach the seal, and I'm going to rotate it so this cable doesn't have this real bad kink in it. That's all. Well, even better. I didn't need to. I readjusted where the brake line came through. I took it out of one of the factory clips behind the headlight assembly here, and that gave it a beautiful, nice S-curve. It goes right into where the steering bearings are and then swoops back down here to the wheel. And I still have it in the factory brace down here, so it's not going anywhere. No sharp bends, no need to loosen it. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, let me think. I need to wait for the tank so I can settle everything in. Then I can do the controls. Then I can connect the new lever to the clutch cable. Then I can adjust my throttles, change out the brake lever. We flush the brake lines. Electrical is in. Oh, I do have one other thing to show you. Well, two things actually. First, I got a pigtail for the battery, and this goes to the battery tender. Now these are great not only for maintaining your battery if you're not going to be riding your bike for more than a few weeks. Keep it on a tender and your battery is going to last years longer. But it's also a great power plug. You know, if you need to plug in a compressor or anything that would normally pop a fuse on a bike, you've got a direct connection here to the battery, and you can get adapters that plug right into this. This is a very standard adapter. You can get, you know, normal cigarette type housing. You can get lots of accessories. You can get alligator clips. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that go right onto here. So I'm going to wait until everything's buttoned up so I can see where I want to snake this through. But usually what I do is I just have it hidden underneath a body panel on Velcro or something, and that way I can just pop this out, and you know, this will all be tied in somewhere like that. You get the idea. And bada bing, bada boom. But it makes it so much easier, and there's hardly any reason then to need to get to the battery itself. You can't jump start it from it. Well, maybe there's some stuff out now you can with, but you know, beyond that, there's no reason you need to get to the terminals because you always have a remote outpost. Now, the other thing is, Arizona RE, who's another member of TwoWheelObsession, definitely check his videos out. Really cool stuff. He suggested the quad-aught steel wool for polishing some of the little bit of pitting and corrosion on some of the metal parts here, so I'll definitely be giving that a shot. And he also mentioned, and I already knew this, that it's also good for cleaning glass. You know, getting rid of anything on the outside of your glass on your car. Does not scratch it. Absolutely does not scratch it. It just totally cleans it. But I never thought of using it on the metals. So, thank you very much. That should definitely help. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Check out the site, TwoWheelObsession.com. Question of the day. Tires. Tires are very important, obviously. They're the only thing between you and the road. I know some people that buy used motorcycle tires. I would never even consider doing that, but hey, to each their own. I'm the type that buys pretty much the very best tire I can for the application. Don't really care about the cost. You know, yes, it sucks that they're twice as much as car tires for pretty much half the rubber, but that's the way it is. So give me your thoughts on tires. How do you normally buy? Do you look for deals? Do you just go buy whatever's cheapest? Do you go for whatever's the longest mileage? Do you go for the best performance? You don't care how long it lasts? You know, let me know. See you next time, guys.